Live from the Caterpillar Global Communications Center at Bradley University, this is BUTV News.
Good evening and welcome to BUTV News. I'm Larry Larson.
And I'm Hernan Gutierrez. Let's take a look at the news.
Yesterday, the Smith Career Center hosted the Graduate and Professional Schools Fair in the Student Center Ballroom. The fair was a casual meet and greet where students could talk with the representatives of potential schools. Most tables either had brochures for students to take with them or a contact list to put their contact information on. Attendance for this event is typically 175 to 200 students, and this year was no different. The Smith Career Center Assistant Director Carmen Kuramitsky talked about what the fair is all about.
Today is the Graduate and Professional School Fair, so that is where we invite recruiters and school representatives from usually right around 80 different institutions or programs for students to meet and interact with to learn more about graduate and professional schools.
80 schools from all over the Midwest came out to meet some Bradley Braves, and of course our own Bradley Graduate School had a table as well. If you'd like to learn more about graduate and professional school, visit the Smith Career Center or their website.
Last Sunday, the Dingledine Music Center hosted a jazz concert called An Afternoon of Jazz. Directed by Todd Kelly and Angie DeRoe, the jazz ensemble played several songs such as Peter Gunn by Henry McEnany, Superstition by Stevie Wonder, and Do What You Wanna by the Rebirth Brass Band, with lyrics provided by Maya Weber. There were also several solos from the jazz band, including instruments like the tenor sax, saxophone, trumpet, and trombone, which had everyone in the room feeling the rhythm. The concert was not just for students and faculty. Everyone in the room, from students to friends to proud parents, enjoyed having an afternoon of jazz from the Bradley Jazz Ensemble. Be sure to look up the Bradley Department of Music's upcoming events so you don't miss a beat. As breast cancer awareness comes to an end, the organization Bradley Maps held their second speaker this Tuesday night from the Susan G. Komen Foundation to inform students of the risk of breast cancer. The speaker, Gail Young, is not only a breast cancer survivor herself, but the mission director at Susan G. Komen here in Peoria. For years, she has come to talk to young women about the importance of breast cancer and things to look out for. Since Susan G. Komen herself was from Peoria, Young was very passionate about this event, and so were the members of Bradley Maps. Here's Young herself.
That if you're informed. So I want to be sure to share the information that young women in particular need to know regarding their breast health, and we'll talk about that. We'll talk about where people could get access to services if they needed them, answer a lot of questions that people might have, and just help convey information.
Some of the questions Young was asked were if some of the myths young women hear growing up are true. They are, in fact, not. Students were also able to grab flyers full of information so they can share this information with others. If you or anyone you know has questions regarding breast cancer, feel free to email Young at gyoung@colemanmemorial.org.
Last Saturday night, Bradley hosted yet another late-night BU for students, but this time with a spooky twist. Here's Deanna Cantu, who went to check it out.
I'm Deanna Cantu here at the October 18th Late Night BU. Let's check out what's in store. Late Night BU had students celebrating the spooky season last Friday night. As usual, Late Night BU offered a variety of things for students to do, one of which was a pumpkin painting station, where students could pick out a miniature pumpkin of their choice and decorate it to their heart's desire.
I'm most excited for the mini pumpkins. I want to paint a pumpkin. I had a hot dog from Portillo's. It was really good. I was starving, so yeah.
Along with Portillo's coming to campus, students also had a variety of treats to choose from cotton candy to assorted flavors of popcorn. But if you aren't wanting to have treats or paint pumpkins, Late Night BU also offered a spookier option for students downstairs. Tonight's Late Night BU is Halloween themed, which means plenty of haunted houses and plenty of scares. Many students bravely entered Bradley University's haunted house last week, but luckily they had a tour guide to guide them along the way.
I'm really enjoying it. I'm not usually a big fan of haunted houses, but I'm having a lot of fun being a tour guide and seeing people get the crap scared out of them. There is a clown room. There's also like a snake and like kind of like a spidery creepy room. There is a graveyard, and then there's like a miscellaneous like kind of area.
If haunted houses and pumpkins aren't your thing, you could spin around with friends or try to maintain your balance. Students were also able to pick out and decorate their very own baseball caps with lots of colors to choose from. However, some students didn't care to decorate their hats.
I couldn't find a marker that would show up on a black hat, and I don't have patience for paint. I painted a pumpkin, and that took most of the time, and then I came here.
Late night BU is always a great time for students, and we hope everyone was able to make it last week for lots of food and Halloween-themed fun.
Reporting for BUTV News, I'm Deanna Cantu.
Thanks, Deanna. Looks like a lot of fun. Up next, Nicole Pfaff will give us our weekly weather update.
And what band is coming out of hibernation?
Find out after the break.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
Wake the sun, tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me. I'm going to find some peace of mind. Wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun.
So, Nicole, I'm going to the soccer game tonight. I know Hernan's going as well. Are we going to freeze?
Not really. You're going to see a little bit of a cool temperature, but, you know, it'll kind of get cold throughout the week, so let's take a look at that. As you can see here, there are some clouds coming in from the west here, and then a little bit of some thunderstorms up north, kind of going around Peoria a little bit, but other than that, it should miss us. But as we can see here, a little bit farther towards the west, there is a little bit of rain showers that'll be coming in within the next few days. Other than that, we'll be seeing just a little bit of clouds. Let's take a look at our current temps. As we can see here, we are experiencing some low 60s, so it'll definitely cool down a little bit tonight around the 50s, maybe high 50s. The south is experiencing some nice cool weather, high 60s, low 70s. But if we get up here to the north, they're experiencing low 50s, high 40s. And in Iowa up north, they're experiencing like high 30s. That's crazy, but we won't be seeing that anytime soon here in Peoria. Let's go ahead and look at our 5-day forecast. As you see here, there's going to be a pretty chilly night, high 30s, low 40s. Other than that, we'll be seeing a little bit of clouds as we saw earlier. Saturday, we'll be seeing some rain, but other than that, the rest of the week should be pretty dry. During the day, we'll be seeing some low 50s. Towards Saturday and Sunday, it'll get a little bit higher towards the high 50s, low 60s, and then it'll start cooling down as the next week begins. Now it's time for your entertainment news with Jonathan Michael.
A new trailer for Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker released earlier this week on Monday Night Football. Just as the previous Star Wars films had, the trailer was met with an unexpected amount of frenzy from fans. It featured a scene with Rey and Princess Leia, improbably played by the late Carrie Fisher. J.J. Abrams used leftover footage from The Force Awakens to include Fisher, who passed away in 2016. The movie has also hinted a return by the villain Emperor Palpatine. An early Christmas present for some, the film will release on December 20th. Love amusement parks, roller coasters, and thrills, but not bad weather and overpriced tickets? A trip out to New Jersey's new Nickelodeon universe, which is set to be the largest indoor amusement park in North America, can help solve your problems. Later this week, the park will open inside the sparkly new American Dream Mall in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The mall itself is touted by some as a new Mall of America and has been planned since 2003. As for the park, it boasts 35 rides, including one with a 120-foot drop. And for those looking for a change of pace, there is an NHL-sized ice rink opening as well. Still not enough to convince you? The DreamWorks water park is set to open inside the mall as well. Tickets for the park will start at just $40. One of the most popular alternative bands of all time let fans know that they are still alive and kicking with a new album release. Whether you love them or hate them, Coldplay is releasing a 2-album set with one part named Sunrise and the other named Sunset in just under a month on November 22nd. Coldplay used a unique approach to deliver the news as select fans received a typewritten note. The band's last full album, A Head Full of Dreams, came all the way back in 2015. Coldplay even admitted themselves that they were, quote, in hibernation after a world tour that sold out some of the biggest stadiums around the globe.
So, Jonathan, when are we going to see Coldplay? Because you owe me a concert, you know.
I guess so. I guess I'll have to buy your ticket as well.
Well, fingers crossed. Stick around to see what Halloween festivities are available in Peoria.
And the newest edition of Around Town after the break.
It's Ava, and this is Tess from Vivo's Do It Yourselfie, where we recreate the hottest looks from today's biggest music videos.
After cleaning out our closet, we have a lot of clothes we don't wear anymore.
Like this old t-shirt.
It's not garbage, it's actually a brand new rug.
And to make it, all you need to do is cut, tie, and glue.
Cut the t-shirt into strips.
Tie the strips into knots.
And glue the knots to the bath mat. I love it. Give your garbage another life.
And recycle.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Oh! Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
If you're a communications major here at Bradley, you've probably heard of the Hollywood semester, where students are given the opportunity to spend the entire semester in Los Angeles, California, to study entertainment hands-on with industry professionals.
However, if you aren't ready to make such a big move away from campus, Bradley offers something that is much more short-term, but just as educational and rewarding.
Joining live here in the Global Communications Center is our own Anthony Landahl with our special guest, Chris Marsh.
Thanks, guys. Chris Marsh is a professor here at Bradley University for communications and advertising. And every spring semester, he brings a group of students out to Los Angeles, California for COM 494, behind the scenes in LA. He is here with us today. It's nice to see you, Chris.
Hey, you too.
Tell us more about COM 494 and what it entails.
So COM 494 is a semester-long class that we teach primarily here on campus. But then over spring break, we go out and we tour different organizations out in Los Angeles, organizations in the film, television, entertainment, sports communication, and journalism industries.
And what inspired you to do this course? When did you begin it?
So this course, I've been doing this is my 4th year now, and this course originally was taught by Professor Emeritus Dr. Ron Kapersky. Dr. Kapersky used to take a group out, but they were all public relations students. And so after Dr. Kapersky retired, I spoke with Dean Huberman, and he expressed an interest in reviving this class. And so I said, well, what if we opened it up and made it relevant to all of our majors? So for our television arts majors, we might go out to see The Price is Right, to see how they rehearse and they block and they do stagecraft and they actually record that program. For our public relations students, we may go out and talk with folks at MGM Studios about how they market television and film programs worldwide. So we try to have something for all of our majors.
And this is not just a one-week class. This is throughout the whole semester. What will students be learning before they go out?
That's a great question. So essentially also the class itself is about storytelling. What is your discipline and how do you tell stories that engage audiences? So for when we go out and see an alum named Greg Dolph, who produces live action shows for Universal Studios Hollywood, first, it's kind of an inverted pyramid. We learn everything we can about Greg Dolph. Then we learn about live theater. Then we learn about theme parks. And so we try to research everything we possibly can about the people we go meet and the industries that they work in. And then we make presentations to the class. We come up with awesome questions for each one of our guests. And that's kind of how we prepare to go out over spring break.
How do you think these firsthand experiences will help students almost enter the industry, or how is it also beneficial for them?
Well, hopefully it's beneficial because, you'll meet a fellow like Barry Gerstein at MGM Studios. Barry will talk about his career, the things that he did that worked, the things he did that didn't. For one thing, it's extraordinarily inspiring. You learn about the breadth of all the occupations that are out there, and you might even see something that you say, hey, I want to go back out. I want to learn more about this, and I want to work in this industry.
All right, Chris, thank you so much for talking with us today. If you want to find out more information, you can contact Chris Marsh at cjmarsh@fsmail.bradley.edu. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Anthony. Wildlife Prairie Park has transformed into Wildlife Scary Park for the harvest season. This past weekend, the park offered a kid-friendly Halloween experience for only $10, which featured haunted trains, trick-or-treating trails, and even hay rack rides. Here's Deanna Cantu with this weekend's edition of Around Town.
It's the 34th annual Wildlife Scary Park, a Peoria area tradition which allowed for local families to come celebrate Halloween throughout the weekend. The event started with a simple trick-or-treating path back in 1985, but has expanded its activities to accommodate the large crowds.
Well, we have a haunted train ride, a hay rack ride, we have the Disney princesses out here, a food court, the giant trick-or-treat trail. It's a family-friendly event and we have something for everybody.
While Wildlife Scary Park still showcases its haunted train rides, face painting stations, and tractor-pulled hay rides, 2019 also saw the debut of Wildlife's food court. Amongst this year's vendors at the food court was Emily's Tattoo Tamales, a family-owned business dedicated to Emily Delgado.
It's great. It's actually been a pleasure to be out here. There's very family, kid-oriented atmosphere. So come out, have some food, eat some tamales, and enjoy the fun.
Aside from all the free candy, Wildlife Prairie Park also offers young minds a chance to connect with nature by learning more about Illinois' native animals. Like Mike the bison, a crowd favorite at the park.
This is Big Mike here.
So he's a little bit smaller than some of the other bison, even though he does weigh 1,200 pounds. For 9 years old, he's still pretty good size. We have over 50 different species of animals. We have reptiles, we have birds, we have fish, a little bit of everything.
For more information on Wildlife Scary Park and future events, go to wildlifeprairiepark.org or call 309-676-0998. Reporting for BUTV News, I'm Dina Cantu.
Epsilon Sigma Alpha is an international service and leadership organization whose annual 860,000 hours of volunteer work help make a world a better place. This past Friday, the service sorority hosted their fall benefit at the Michael Student Center atrium. This year's Pasta La Vista Cancer theme offered $5 bowls of pasta, with all of the proceeds benefiting St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Senior Kate Hermanson enjoyed the opportunity to not only spend time with her sorority sisters, but also to give back to the community.
This is our fall benefit, so we do this every year. We just switch up if it's going to be pasta, if it's going to be walking tacos or ice cream in previous years. And it's really important to support St. Jude because they give hope to kids with cancer and they provide cures and working towards a future.
For more information on Bradley's service sorority and future fundraisers, go to epsilonsigmaalpha.org or call 970-223-2824.
Fall sports are in full swing.
How did our Bradley Braves perform? Find out when we come back.
It's harder whenever there's a bigger group. Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
When you're out there, there's no telling what you'll find.
I see it, I see it! Oh, look at you.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Cody, busy sports week in the professional world. We got NBA starting, NHL going on, World Series, Champions League. That's all in the professional world. What's going on around here on campus?
Well, Hernan, there's a lot of things going on so far on campus. We got soccer game tonight, soccer later in the month to close out against Valparaiso, and we also had volleyball this last week, and it's just an exciting time.
I bet, yeah.
Exciting time for the men's basketball team, exciting news was announced for the men's basketball team earlier last week as the Bradley Braves had 2 players selected to the All-Valley basketball team. Senior Daryl Brown was selected to the All-Valley first team, while junior Elijah Childs was selected to the All-Valley second team. Brown is the first Braves player selected to the first team since Walt Lemon Jr. back in 2013. The Braves were also selected to finish second in the conference behind Missouri State. The Braves' first action is against Milliken on October 29th. The men's soccer team will have an uphill battle this week with consecutive home conference games to close out the month of October, with games against Loyola Chicago tonight and Valparaiso on Sunday. Bradley, who sits currently tied for third in the conference with Loyola, only puts more importance on the match with their state rivals on Sunday. Sunday also brings a challenge of its own as Bradley will resume a game from earlier this month against Valparaiso, down 1-0 in the 66th minute. The Braves, this just marks the second time ever that Bradley will play the same opponent to open the month and close out the month. And finally, the women's volleyball team closed out a big week of their season with back-to-back home games last week against Loyola Chicago and Valparaiso. The Braves were able to end the Crusaders' 3-match win streak of sweeps, giving Valparaiso some of their own medicine by winning 3 sets just last Friday. The Braves then set their sights to the Ramblers of Loyola Chicago with second place in the conference on the line. The Ramblers would start off aggressive with freshman Maddie Barnes rocketing a kill to the back row of Bradley, now to the second set action, as Bradley's Sarah Maddox would respond with a kill of her own to make the score 22-24 in the second set. On to later action again as Maddox and now Bergman climb the ladder and combine for a block, sending it right back to the Loyola back line. Now to the third set, where it'd be Barnes again helping to seal Bradley's fate with a 3-set sweep, dropping the Braves back in a tie for third for the conference. Their next action will be on the 25th. Last Friday was perfect weather for running. Bradley Cross Country hosted the annual Bradley Pink Classic at Newman Golf Course, where Bradley's women's team finished with another win. Here's Nate Martin with more.
The annual Pink Classic saw hundreds of college runners compete at Newman Golf Course. The invite featured over 30 different collegiate athletic teams. There were 20 different Division I men's teams racing in the men's 8K red race, Drake taking first with a score of 81. The individual winner of the men's race was Erwin Loud from the University of Illinois with a time of 24:11.7, just barely ahead of Ryan Bird from Marquette, who came in 1/10 of a second from him. Bradley's men's team finished 16th overall, with lead runner Alec Hartman coming in 36th overall with a time of 25:16. 23 different D1 teams competed in the women's 6K red race. Our very own Bradley Braves took home the win for the first time ever at the Bradley Pink Classic, finishing with a score of 67, 3 of our runners finishing in the top 10. The individual winner for the women was Abby Ripperda from South Dakota with a time of 20:50, followed by our 2 Bradley runners, Mackenzie Altmeyer in second with a time of 21:03.9, and Tyler Schwartz in third with a time of 21:09.3. Aya Eldada came in sixth with a time of 21:18.4.
We came out here just expecting to do our best. Not a lot of super high expectations, but just after seeing the girls race, I'm pretty proud of how we competed as a team, both guys and girls. I thought it was amazing.
Bradley's women's team is hoping to defend their conference title at the MVC Championship on November 2nd. For BUTV News, I'm Nate Martin.
Cody, pretty exciting news on every Bradley sport, especially men's basketball.
Yeah, basketball's looking to get underway against Milliken soon, and they're looking really strong, and can't wait to see if they're going to live up to the hype.
It's going to be really exciting. Stay right here to find out what events are happening right after BUTV.
And performance from our musical guest you won't want to miss.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
So good to see you guys. So, what's up? Oh, we finally bought a place. Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on... Is it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
La 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 la, I love you so. I love you, I love you. La 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 la, la 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 la.
We're here.
Yay!
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Here are some events coming up this week at Bradley. Mwende Kitwiwa, also known as Frequency, is a Kenyan immigrant queer woman storyteller. The TED Talk speaker will be performing right after our show. Come to the Student Center Ballroom at 7 p.m. tonight to hear Frequency perform. Another event after the show is the Black Lives Matter Candlelight Vigil. Bradley's chapter for the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People is holding a candlelit vigil for victims of police brutality. Join the chapter at the Circle of Pride at 7:30 p.m. Lastly, Active Minds will be hosting a fundraiser at Subway tomorrow from 4 to 8 p.m. Come to the Subway in Campus Town to support mental health awareness and eat some sandwiches. All proceeds will be donated to Active Minds National Chapter.
Well, that's it for BUTV News this week. I'm Hernan Gutierrez.
I'm Cody Groskins.
I'm Jonathan Michael.
I'm Nicole Pfaff.
And I'm Larry Larson. Tonight, we leave you with a performance from our finest days. Have a great evening.
Oh, I see the world for what it is. Yes, John, I know I do. Oh, I see the world for what it is. Yes, John, I know I do. There'll be days when you'll be down. You'll want to delve into the black. And Beelzebub will show you on through. Burning in hell to sound half bad. Souls forgotten back in me. But mortality kept me sane. All I want is peace in my mind. But I'm tormented by my pain. I don't know I was born like this, but I refuse to die in vain. I've been through the misty forest, searching for the Lord above. Oh, I've been through the misty forest, where no light can shine through the rough. The wind howled and the ravens cried, but my flame it will not snuff. Never break me down, I will always have her love. Souls forgotten back in me, but mortality kept me sane. All I want is peace in my mind, but I'm tormented by my pain. I don't know I was born like this, but I refuse to die in vain. I'll keep on heading through these woods till I find that northbound train. Keep on heading through these woods till I find that northbound train. I've seen the world for what it has. Yes, all I know I have. Seen the world for what it has. Yes, all I know I have. Souls forgotten back in me, but mortality kept me sane. All I want is peace in my mind, but I'm tormented by my pain. I don't know I was born like this, but I refuse to die in